Welcome to the Bamboo Project Podcast. My name is Donovan Gray, the future $10 billion man. On the way to 10 billion, I decided I'm going to help create 1,000 millionaires, including myself, and not by being a guru or selling a course, but by doing the things I already love to do every day and documenting the journey to get there. I figure I'll make all the mistakes so you don't have to. My name is Donovan Gray, and this is how I will turn my life into a living. I'd like to start off by giving a shout out to all the people rocking with us and supporting the channel. We really appreciate you. We are currently streaming on all major streaming platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Anchor, you name it, we on it. And if we not on it, we about to be on it. For everyone listening to this podcast and not watching it, you can find us on YouTube at The Bamboo Project. We have over 400 videos on our channel. It's a crazy number. You want to learn real estate? We got that. You want cooking tutorials inspired by Dr.Sebi? We got that. Travel and lifestyle vlogs? Got it. You want makeup and hair growth tutorials? Got it. Basketball? Got it. It's everything us. All the parts of the journey that don't make it to YouTube will be on our story. You can find me on Instagram at Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Melissa Burnett, ANETABURN. The Bamboo Project is about turning your life into a living by making money off the things you already do every day. We made different playlists for all the things we are into, and you can find all of those links in the description box below. This may be your first time here, and if it is, welcome to the family. But for everyone else, this is chapter 2, page 96. Okay, this podcast has 4 different segments: the life update, episode playback, Donovan's questions, and the topics of the day. All video and audio timestamps will be in the description box below. Today's date is January 18th, and it is 2:17 p.m. I don't know if y'all can tell, I am super excited. I'm very, very hyped up. Shout out to Jermaine, artist. I'm gonna get into that later. My guy, listen, something is bubbling here on the Bamboo Project. So before we get to the topics or the life update, we always like to start off with screen time. Screen time is when Melissa and I go through our settings on our phone and we see how much time we spent on our phone last week, because we want to be billionaires. We need to know how much time we are losing just looking at our phone, being on Instagram, Twitter, social media, TikTok, Uno. All right, so for last week, okay, I definitely noticed that my screen time has been going up a little bit more over the last couple of weeks for sure. Let me see. Yeah, last week it was 9 hours. No, yes. The last week my screen time was 9 hours and 14 minutes, right? So the week before that it was 8 hours and 40 minutes. The week before that it was 8 hours and 40 minutes again. I can't go back more than that. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's well. Yeah, so like I said, it's definitely been kind of up over 8 hours, which I think is a lot. But you know, like I said, I've been working on some stuff, so it's not too bad. But my most used apps, my top 3, number 1 is YouTube for 9 hours and 42 minutes. Number 2 is Instagram for 8 hours and 9 minutes. And number 3 is Safari. I think it's crazy that they actually have Twitter on here and I don't have the app on my phone. That's crazy. That's crazy. How do they do that? How does that even know? They count the website, I guess. That's interesting. But why do they only have that? That's crazy. Why do they only have that website as opposed to, like, what if I was on Pornhub like 10 times or 10 hours a day? Would they put that on there? Okay. So the average amount of times I picked up my phone every single day was 110 times. That number has definitely gone up. That used to be low for me. But I noticed now, since I've been on my phone a lot more, and you know, we're growing on YouTube, getting subscribers, people are commenting, people are sending us emails, so you know, I'm gonna be on my phone getting those notifications a little bit more. We working on different things that's coming up, so you know, people be hitting us up, hitting our line, so that means I'm gonna pick up my phone more often. And then my first used app after pickup, and this is what I'm telling y'all, is Mail. That's 117 times. I'm telling you, when I pick up my phone, it's like I'm trying to get money. If you email me, it's about money. I want the money. And I think that is pretty much it. And my highest notification was messages, and then YouTube, and then phone. Beautiful, phenomenal, amazing girlfriend. Oh, wait. One more thing. Last week, I used my phone the most on Wednesday for 12 hours, and the least was on Tuesday for 6 hours and 51 minutes. All right. Your turn. What you got?
My average for last week was 7 hours and 14 minutes. My most used app is Google Maps for 10 hours and 32 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Then Instagram, 7 hours. And then Uno for 6 hours.
Uno is lit, bro. I'm telling y'all. Listen, hit us up. You trying to get on that Uno? Trying to build an Uno team on the app? We out here. Uno is, listen, one of my favorite games is Uno. Like, I love me some Uno, and I think they did the game justice with the app. Like, it's a great game.
My most pickup is Google Maps, and I had an average of 100 pickups. Mm-hmm. Something that I saw that's interesting. So I have my social media apps limited for my phone. Mm-hmm. That I can only use social media apps 2 hours out of the day. Mm-hmm. I was on social media for a total of 13 hours last week, mm-hmm. which averages out to an hour and 51 minutes a day.
Wow, it's less than 2 hours. And what is your thing at? Your
limit is 2 hours. So I think that's kind of interesting. So
wow.
If I limit my games,
I mean, listen,
that might make a difference.
I mean, like I said, what was your daily time? Your average?
For what?
Like, what was your weekly average for the?
My weekly average was 7 hours.
Yeah. Like I said, there was that one time I did like 4 hours in a day, which I think, or like a couple of days in a row, which I think is crazy, but
also, 11 of those hours was me driving.
Yeah, so like I said, what is this? It's a cat over here. Yeah, so personally,
so honestly, if you take that out, it's 5 hours and 7. That's 5.7 hours. That's what it comes up to.
As opposed to what, 7 hours?
As opposed to
Oh yeah, like I said, my thing is this. I feel like I'm trying to figure out how to manage this, because I feel like the more successful we get through social media, the more we'll be on there. So I'm trying to figure out how we could not have to be on there as much, but still post and still be able to respond to people, because it's going to get to a point where, we're getting thousands of comments a day and, hundreds of emails and stuff like that. So it's like, maybe I have to do that Jeff Bezos thing where he just like responds with one word or something. And it's like, it's not personal, but it's 100 emails. So I'm going to have to like kind of figure out how to do it the best. But until that point, I'm trying to respond to every email, respond to every comment, everything. All right. This week has been it's been a interesting week for sure. Like, I don't really know how to feel about this week so far, but it's definitely been somewhat interesting. So the first thing I'm gonna start off with is we got approved for another $10,000. Now, I'm pretty sure the people that are listening to this who have been here for a couple of months, if not even longer than that, are like, damn, bro, again? I know, it's crazy. I'm telling you, I didn't believe in myself. So we currently have 5 MCA loans. I believe we have 4 or 5. I think we have 4 MCA loans. Yeah. So if you don't know what an MCA loan is, it stands for Merchant Cash Advance. So pretty much they will give you money based off how much money your business is making. We are currently not making really any money, but we finessed it so that we are able to show that we're making a lot more money. So we were showing that we were making like $30,000 a month, something like that. So we got different loans. We got like one for $28,000 back in November, but because we refinanced it or renewed the loan, they paid off the original one, so we only ended up getting like $21,000, I think it was. Then we got another loan for $10,000, and then another loan for $7,500. That's 3 loans. With each loan, how it works is you have to pay them back every day. So you have to give an ACH, like give them your number and your account number, stuff like that, and they debit the money out of your account every day. And they're usually pretty high. They're like $140 to like $250 a day, depending on which loan you have, right? So if you have 3 or 4 of those, that could easily add up to like $400 or $500 a day that you have to pay them back. So you're talking about maybe $2,000 a week, $8,000 a month. Like you have to pay these things back. So it can be very risky if you don't really know how to finesse it. So they don't like to lend out too much if you already have a bunch of positions ahead of them. So a position is anybody that gave you a loan. So for us, we had like 3 positions already, and people have still been reaching out because they're like sharks. Like, they smell blood in the water. They try to give you money. And I think it's more so personally the broker as opposed to the actual person with the money. But as soon as you like go on Credit Karma or Lending Tree and say, hey, I want a loan, your phone starts blowing up. So I've been hearing like, hey, we can't give you any more money because you already have these other loans out. So at this point, I was kind of just like, whatever happens, I'll be all right. We already got, what's that? 21 plus 10 is 31 plus 75 is like 38,000, right? So we already got that. And I'm like, all right, I'm not about to really be pressed for more because we already got the 38. They're probably not going to give me any more. Y'all know a couple of weeks ago, somebody had hit us up and was like, hey, I could give you guys 85,000 if you pay back at 105. And so that means we have access to the 85K, but they saw the other loans we had out and they said, oh, we're not going to give you the loan because of those. So we're like, all right, not surprising. So here's what is surprising. Somebody else hit me up recently and they were like, hey, we want to fund your business. That's how they always try to pitch it. So I'm like, of course, if you want to fund the business, I'm not going to stop you. But now, which I think is very funny, I just be like, listen, I want you to know you'll be 4th position. Like, so if you want to send me money, just know from Jump Street, before I send you the paperwork, sign the contract, send you the documents, information, that you'll be 4th position. And if they say yes, I'm like, cool, we keep going from there. And one of the reasons why I'm even saying that part is because it's kind of teaching me that, or exposing me to putting your terms up front and then going, this is what my terms are. If you don't want it, you can leave. And just kind of seeing what happens. However, the issue with that is the fact that in the beginning, I probably wasn't going to do that. And that goes into the book I read recently, The Psychology of Money, where they talk about play your game. Like, don't try to play somebody else's game because it may not work for you. So what I mean by that, or how that applies to this, is when I didn't have any funding at all, I was like, listen, I'm not going to tell them I have another loan now until they give me the money. And then maybe I'll tell them if they figure it out, it is what it is. But at this point, I don't want to go through the hassle of trying to submit documents and waste my time doing that just for them to tell me no. So I can't play the same game that Donovan of November 2021 was playing, because the Donovan of January 2022 is doing other things, and the amount of money you're trying to give me is not worth it. Plus the fact that it's also possible I might not even get it. So I don't want to just say like, oh, I'm going to definitely get it. I could do all this work and not get the money. So up front, I said, listen, dude, I got 4 loans out. They total $48,000 combined, right? And here's where the big blow is. The payback is $72,000. So we have to pay back $72,000 to these loan companies. So $72,000 we have to pay back. So I'm not thinking anybody's going to give us any more money. I'm thinking, you know what? It is what it is. If they want to give us money, sure. If they don't, whatever. So this dude goes, listen, I can get you some more money. I said, I got 4 positions. He said, okay, that's cool. I said, all right, bro, send me the contract. I signed it, filled it out. He comes back and says, hey, I got you 2 loans, 2 people that want to fund you. I'm like, damn, again? It's like, damn, that's crazy. That's how I feel. I feel like Don Cheadle. So now I'm like, all right, listen, I'm not opposed to another $10,000. It is what it is. I could do that. So sign the contract. He says, you know, you're good to go. I have a phone call with somebody from their company. They send me the $10,000, minus the little fees. And they just gave me another $10,000. So right now I've been funded for like $58,000. And I think the payback is probably like 80 something at this point. But it's like I call it a money glitch. Okay. It's like an infinite money glitch. That's what they have in the whole, the stock world now. That's my term I'm using. So the reason why I say it's an infinite money glitch, right, is because you can keep renewing the loans. So let's say that I have $10,000. If I leave the money in my account and don't touch it at all, they will take out money every day. Once it hits the 50% mark and once it's paid to, let's say, $5,000, they will offer me the option to renew the loan with a higher amount. So that means that they'll say, oh, you paid off $50K, you paid off $5K out of the 10, we're going to give you $15K now. So mind you, they gave me 10, I didn't spend it, I gave it right back to them, and they said, here's 15. So here's how the game works. I would just run the play again. Lick the money in my account, I will pay $7,500, which is half of 15. They would then give me 20. I would pay half of the 20, which is 10. They would give me 25. And I could just keep doing that. Now, the goal right now is to get that number high enough. So let's say they gave me $100,000. If they give me $100,000, I can take 10, 15, or 20 and invest it somehow and make more money on it. So that's how the infinite money glitch would work, and I can then reinvest that money. So that's how that goes. So now here's the thing. The guy told me that they had 2 people who wanted to give me $10,000. So now I'm waiting to hear back if they're going to send me the extra $10,000. So last week I also talked about, kind of segueing into the next topic of life update. Last week I talked about how it's a possibility that we could lose the house. This is before I even got the loan, honestly. So, and what I mean by that is we needed money for the renovation for the house, right? That's what we needed to do. And because I'm letting the money sit in the account and I'm not using it, they're taking it back every single day, right? Or I'm paying back on every single day. The problem is that the renovation is taking longer than it's supposed to. So the longer the renovation takes, the more money I'm going to lose or send back to the MCA people every day. So if the money runs out in the account, then we have to actually start paying out of our own account, out of our own money, which we don't have to pay for it. So they then will keep charging us every day, and then they charge us another fee for not having money in the account, which is like $2,500. So then if we can't get the house renovated, right, then the loan people will go, okay, well, we're going to take the house back from you and we're going to keep it ourselves. So that was the reason why I was like, okay, we can get this $10,000 and then try to finesse it. So once we got the $10,000, we were in the clear. We're like, okay, boom, we're good to go. We don't have to worry about the house getting foreclosed on. We should be perfectly fine. That was what I thought. Everything was clear and good to go. Then 2 things happened, right? The first thing that happened was we did not get the second $10,000. It has not been sent. I don't know what's going on with it. We haven't got that money. That's the first thing. The second thing is we were supposed to get money from the lenders, which is called a draw. If you don't know what that means, when you get a renovation, then they give you a piece of that renovation every time a part of the job gets done. So we were supposed to get, like, let's say $8,000 for the draw. Somebody went to go check on the property. They didn't give us the full 8. They gave us like 2. That's a problem because now we can't get the renovation done. So that now increases the time period. The house was supposed to be done, honestly, in like 4 months when we first got the house, which was in April. So that's April, May, June, July, August. House should have been done in August of last year. After that, some stuff came up. The house got pushed to like September. After that, some more stuff came up. It got pushed to the end of the year. After that, some more stuff got pushed. Came up. It got pushed to January, end of January. So now, after this little hiccup again, he's saying that it'll probably be the end of February, the beginning of March, that the house gets completed. Now, he's starting to cut it real close because the loan matures, or the loan payment is due in April. It's 12 months, right? So if we don't have the money or sell the house or refinance it by that time period, they're going to foreclose on the house. Those are the first main things, right? So we thought we were in the clear, and then that little mishap or hiccup happened. So we've been using a company called Capital on Tap. It's a credit card company. They gave us $20,000 last year of credit. So we've been using that to pay for the renovation, right? For whatever reason, they don't like how we were doing it or what we were doing or whatever the case might be. So they froze the account. So since the account was frozen, we weren't able to take the money out. And it was like $4,000 or $5,000 on that account to use for the renovation. So now we lose another $4,000 that we could have had to pay for it. So we're like, okay, that kind of sucks. We figured, okay, if we just send them the money, they'll unfreeze the account. Or not send them the money. If we just send them the paperwork, they would unfreeze the account, and then we would be able to continue paying for the renovation. We finally sent them all the documentation that they needed. A couple days go by. Melissa gets an email telling us they lowered our credit limit on that card from $20,000 to $17,900. So they took off $2,100 from our card. So mind you, we had just paid the card, so there was about $40, maybe $200 on the card. They took away $2,100 plus a finance charge, so that's about $2,600. So now we only have, out of that $4,000, like $4,500 or so, we only have like $900. So we went from having the extra $4,000 that we could have used on the card to only now having $900. So now that adds another $4,000 that we have to find to put towards the renovation to get it done. And I already told you we have about 2 months left to figure this house out, maybe 3 months at this point. Here's the other issue we're gonna have to run into. Because we're leaving all the money in the account, that kind of has a time limit on it. So let's say that we have to pay back, we borrowed $10,000 and we have to pay back $15,000 in 3 months, right? And let's say it's $5,000 a month, and they gave us 10. What that means is after the first 2 months go by, if we don't spend that money, they take it all back, and the third month we have to come out of our own pocket $5,000, which is about to happen in February. So in February, we're gonna have to come out of our pocket right now. All of our loans total like $13,000 for the month as an expense, right? The shit is crazy. And honestly, now that I think about it, I wonder, can we write that off as for interest? I was looking at that with the housing. You said no? Oh, so I'm just thinking, like, it's because we're technically paying interest, I think we can write it off. So I'm gonna look into that. But either way, that just lets me know that, or I'm just letting y'all know that we have to come up with another $13,000 to cover the house costs or the loan costs for February. So that's kind of where we are with that. So that dropped us down a little bit. So we had the first mishap. That is where we are with that. Now earlier, okay, so everything is not terrible, and it's like 80% good right now. Earlier I told you I was very excited. I told you I'm super excited right now. I had mad energy, and the reason why is, and I told you earlier, shout out to my man Jermaine Artist. I think he's in North Carolina right now, or South Carolina. Bro, he sent me some course material last year on creative financing. That's a way to buy property, right? And when I tell you that if I am doing this right, we may possibly make, like, I know it's going to sound crazy when I say this. This number is probably going to sound so crazy when I say it. In the next month or two, it's possibly possible to make $100,000 for us. Like, there's a chance we could make $100,000. On the low end, we'll probably make like $50,000, and that's actual profit that we make, that we actually created income of $50K in the next 30 to 45 days with creative financing. And I think it's so crazy because he sent this to me last year, right? And I was kind of reading it, but mind you, I think when he sent this, I don't even know at that point if we bought the house yet. I think it was March, so we probably didn't even have the house. So at that point, I probably was only doing real estate for like 4 months. It was probably November, December, January, maybe like a couple months. But I was still learning about wholesaling and just what's a good comp, what's a bad comp, what renovation looks like, what comes after you put on the sheetrock, and what comes before the installation. I was still kind of just learning the bare minimums of what ARV stands for. Like, I was just learning that. So he sent me that. I'm like, okay, when I can settle down from what we're going through right now at that point, because we were probably struggling with something else back then. I think that was the Airbnb thing we were going through. I'm like, I'm going to go through this material. I'm going to try and learn it. So now that I'm getting into wholesaling, off market stuff, and looking around, and, you know, a lot of the deals are too high. They don't work for an actual wholesale investor 70% rule. So I'm reading through this material, and I'm like, wait a minute. You telling me that I can buy these properties at the market value or at the value that the person selling it wants, and I can still make a crazy profit on it. It's so many different ways to make money off of the creative financing that my brain has been going through like euphoria the last week and a half. Like, it's so crazy. So if we had the money ourselves, right? Let's say we had it. We don't have it right now. We may have it, but we don't. I would be able to buy, let's say, an $800,000 property for like $50K, and I would make money on the property every single month. It's just crazy, and that's just one way of doing it. What I'm trying to do right now is I'm gonna wholesale them just so that I can have the large lump sum of money to cover our expenses for now. And then once I get a couple $25,000 checks, couple $30,000-$40,000 checks, then I will be able to kind of start keeping those properties myself. And I was talking to Melissa today about this, right? Now, this is just it came to my mind today. It all depends on whether or not I can close one of these creative financing deals. If I can close a couple of these, I'm like 95% sure when we go to Atlanta, we're buying a building. Like, we're going to buy maybe like a 20 unit building or like a 8-floor building. Like, we're going to actually buy a building. Like, I'm pretty, if I figure this out, I'm putting it up there. Like, we're going to probably buy a building. So here's the best part of all this, right? That sounds great. This is the better part. The money that I got from the lenders from before, right? I was like, okay, they gave us $30,000 or however much they gave us at the time. I'm like, I need to find a way to utilize this money and flip it. Everybody always had these conversations where they say, bro, if somebody give me $50,000, what would I do right now? If somebody accidentally sent me $50,000, if I found $50,000 on the ground, what would I do? So I'm like, damn. Somebody just gave us 30-something thousand. I need to figure out a way to turn this into more money. So I decided I was going to pay for people to cold call to find properties to buy. So first I had some people that, I fuck with from YouTube, try to use that. Then I was like, okay, I tried to hire a VA and it didn't go the best. It didn't go as best as it could. So he got me some leads though, but I feel like it wasn't generating enough. Like, it was a good amount and I had to train him. Y'all know the whole process of that. He was going through the typhoon was happening. He wasn't able to work sometimes. The internet was out. A lot of different things, right? So then shout out to Melissa, the GOAT. You the GOAT, Melissa. Shout out to her. She was like, listen, I use this company and I'm gonna put you on, and they have trained VAs to call. I'm like, bet. So at first, the reason I didn't do it at first because I didn't think I could afford paying the amount per like skip tracing, whatever it was, the skip tracing amount. But I was able to get some more money from the funding. I said, bet, I'm gonna do this. So I started putting money into that. They generate like 3 leads a day. So we're talking about in a week, close to 15 leads every week, right? Something like that. Maybe like 18. It's a lot. Okay, it's a lot of leads. And these are all people that say they want to sell. So at first, I'm doing this and I'm like, okay, they're not falling into this investor number, the 70% rule number. They're not falling to the typical, cash offer. I started going through the Jermaine artist email he sent me. I'm like, yo, nah, this is crazy. A lot of these people would sell with creative financing. So recently I talked to a guy. I called him and I explained to him, like, listen, this is how it would work. I would, give you a down payment for the property. We would, come out with some type of term that we do every month. And then you would sell it. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but more or less that's what I told him. He was just like, I like that. I like that a lot. He's like, yeah, I'm retired. I don't really want to deal with this anymore. I'm living in Florida. I want to move. He's like, man, I have another property too. You want to, you want to look at that one? I'm like, absolutely. He was like, okay, here's the address. So he sent me 2 properties, right? Both properties, he probably wants to sell for like $800,000, right? And the down payment, I'm probably trying to work out to be like $25,000 to $50,000 for it. And I'm going to give it to another investor for $75,000. So an investor will be able to buy $800,000 property for $75,000 and it's already cash flowing. And he can, when he finally does sell it, he'll sell it for more because it will have appreciated by then. And he will have, what was the other one? He can write off his interest And here's another one he could do too. Oh, he's only in the deal. Oh, he could raise the rent. That's what it was. He can increase the rent. So right now the rent in that building is all together $5,800. It's under market. So he can raise the rent to like $7,500 or $8,000. So he'll make that money. He only put $75K in. He gonna get all of that stuff back. And I'm like, why would you not want to do this? And I made my 75 because I already wholesaled it for 25 off to the 50. So I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. And he has 2 of them. So that's why I'm like, the bare minimum, I feel like we could do at 50K. Maybe if I botched the whole deal, we could do like 15K, which is still amazing. Like, that's phenomenal. So all I gotta do is close it. The only issue with those 2 right now is that because I wasn't exactly sure how to close it, he said, when I come back from Florida in 2 weeks, we could talk about it again then. Honestly, I probably could have just sent him the contract or the terms and he could have signed it. We could just go from there. So I might try and do that and just see like, hey, send me this information about this, how much of the tenant's paying. Let me see the leases or whatever the case might be. And then we just kind of go from there. But yeah. This guy is crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. So like I said, it's possible if we close these deals. I told you 2022 hashtag Bamboo Project 2022 is gonna be a movie. Okay, if we close these deals, this year is gonna go crazy. So I actually had some showings I was supposed to go to, but one of them got rescheduled to Friday. That property is worth $2 million. So that one's even crazy. I might even make more on that one. So that one's like a warm lead though, because we haven't talked about the terms yet. He thinks I'm gonna buy it cash. So when I talked to him about the terms in person, we could see if, he still wants to do that. The other person, I don't know what happened to him. He said his wife was trying to kill him. So he moved back into the house and then he just never responded. So I don't know if she got to him. I don't know what happened, but he has not responded to that. So we're going to see what goes on with that. Oh, bro. All right. So recently we put up a video on Turo, which is doing pretty well for our channel, considering our size of our channel. That was probably the fastest video to 1,000. I think got to 1,000 in like 6 days or something like that, or 7 days, probably less than that. So we've been getting a lot of feedback, about the Turo business, how we get the better way to approach it. So staying on the topic of cars, we had a insurance before that we were paying like $70 a month for our insurance. We found out later that insurance is not valid in New York. In every other state except New York, it's valid. So technically we were driving without insurance, technically, right? So once we found that out, we said, oh shit, let's get insurance. We got to pay for the insurance. We got the insurance. So then y'all already know, Melissa got in the mail, I think I said this before, that the registration and her license are going to be suspended. We like, what? We like, yo, the Bamboo Project effect the Bamboo Project is in full effect. Okay, that's what we're saying. So I'm like, yo, how is this even, why is this even happening? They're saying that the insurance that we paid for, that even the new one, which is now $330, they're saying that one, they never sent the information in. So today's the 18th? So as far as I know, today, her license should be suspended today. We're going to find out today, if it is or not. Actually, you want to look it up right now? Can you check? So right now it's possible that her license could be suspended, which would be tragic. But again, the Bamboo Project is in full effect. We have to pay the price to be successful. This is the price. I don't know what's going to come from this. I don't know what the value we're going to get from it is, but it's probably going to get something. I don't know exactly what it is. We're probably going to get something from it. But it does kind of suck because it wasn't expected for us to freaking have to deal with a suspended license and registration. What's even worse is, if her license is suspended, I can't drive the car because they also are suspending the registration. So, we gonna see what
happened when you tried to deal with it?
They were closed. Like on Friday, whatever day it was, I sent the information in, and they said that it will update in the system. So I don't know if it updated. I don't know if they got it. I don't know if it's the proper thing. It says,
this is valid.
Yeah. So it looks like right now it's valid. So I guess we would have to call maybe and still see, but right now it's valid, so we good. So, but again, listen, we be having these scares. Here's my thing about the podcast, and I was telling Melissa this like last week, right? So much things be happening so fast that I don't even have a chance to even write it down in the podcast. So by the time I say that her license was suspended, we already got by the time we find out we can do Turo, the license got suspended and then it got unsuspended in the week. And it's like, damn, that would have been good to put on a podcast, but it already got solved and fixed. And it's like, it be happening so fast. I'm trying to like tell the story and the whole story already finished. So that happens all the time. It happens with the craft fair. It happens with the loans. It happens with the car. It happens all the time. And it's just something I think is really funny. I'm like, damn, this is going to be great for the podcast. And then boom, something comes up and it's gone. And then it comes back again. It flip-flops back and forth. I've been playing basketball 2 weeks in a row. I've been back on the court 2 weeks in a row. The first week I caught the craziest cramp and I thought my life was over. I've never felt the pain in my leg so, oh my God. But I understand why. I don't exercise, I don't work out, so that's likely to happen. So now that I'm getting a little bit more in shape, getting my wind back, I'm still at like 210, which is still the highest, heaviest I've ever been in my life. But we still working, we chilling and all of that. And I'm excited. But the other tournament I was supposed to be in, they, want me to get the thing, the shot. So I have not been playing in that tournament. But I'm gonna bring something up later in regards to that and the topic of the day. So I'm gonna go on to episode Playback. Okay, so last week one of the things I said was I want my newscasters to just tell me the news and that's it. And after I heard it myself saying it back, right, it made me think about what they told the NBA players, where they say just shut up and dribble. And I felt like, is that what I'm saying? And if that is what I'm saying, and that's how I feel, why is it that the other people feel the same way about the NBA stars? So I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, is what I'm saying wrong, or is what they're saying wrong? So do you think it's the same thing, Melissa? So people back in the day, a couple years ago, people.
I don't think it's the same thing.
Okay, why do you think it's different?
I don't think it's the same thing because when you are listening to the news, that's information that you're trying to receive, as opposed to when you're watching someone play basketball, I guess. I feel like saying that someone is a basketball player, therefore they should not speak about politics, is disrespectful.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, because at the end of the day, that doesn't absolve them from having an opinion, or it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't negate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I think it holds more weight, or it makes more sense if I'm saying that I don't want the information that I'm receiving to be either filtered or skewed a certain way. So I think that's the difference.
But the first one was basketball. Can you say the first one again?
I said with the first one, I don't think the two things are the same thing, because with the first one, they're saying that because he plays basketball, he shouldn't have an opinion on what's happening, what's going on. In the second scenario, you are giving me the news. So I think that is something that shouldn't have a filter on it necessarily. Like, you should tell me what's happening. Not that you can't have an opinion or you can't speak about that at another time, but if you're giving me the news, you should just give me the news.
Okay. So, here's how I'm looking at it. Okay. So,
because I feel like with LeBron, they were saying that he shouldn't even talk about that because he's a basketball player. Like, I think that's something to put him down, as opposed to you're saying that I would prefer the news to not have any opinions in it.
So, but is that different? Because I'm like, I don't want to hear your opinion. Because here's what I was going to say before, is if I go to watch basketball, I want to see basketball. I don't want to see you on the podium talking about Black Lives Matter. I don't want to see you walking around. I don't want to see you on the court with this shirt that says, you know, you support this person or that person. I want you to wear your Lakers jersey. I want you to talk about the game afterwards, and that's it.
Say that one more time.
So if I go to watch a game, I want to see you play basketball. I don't want to see you wearing the George Floyd shirt. I don't want to see you on the podium talking about, you know, Black Lives Matter. I just want to see you playing basketball. That's what I came here to see. So when you watch the news, it's like I came here to see the news.
I feel like that's not the same, because it's like you're not saying that the newscasters can't have an opinion or say what they'd like to say. Like you're because the way that I interpreted it is that you would like the news, or you would like to know what happened. I guess pretty much without the opinions or without, but
like the same. Like I want to see the sport. I want to see the news.
It's different because with basketball, it is a form of entertainment, and it's not a source of information necessarily. I think that with the media, with the news, it's very dangerous to present information with a bias. And I think that it is fair to ask for unbiased information.
I can see that. I agree. I can agree with that. Cause I can agree with that for sure. Cause I was thinking from a perspective of broadly, like, should I not want the opinion of this person? But what they're doing changes that. So if me playing basketball and saying I support Black Lives Matter, it doesn't change your perception of Black Lives Matter.
I think it's like offensive versus, like, I was gonna say disinformation. I don't even think that's the proper term.
I mean, it's bias.
Right.
Some biased information, and that's what I think is different. It's the job itself, because if I'm watching LeBron talk about the Black Lives Matter, that doesn't change where I go to get my facts, because I don't go to him to get my facts on that.
And then they transcribe the news and put it into articles. So not only are you just saying that, but if, let's say, I'm a young kid doing my report on Black people or whatever, they would encourage me to use the news as a credible source.
Yeah, and so I think that's what it is. I think the job title changes it. So yeah, I definitely see that. Let's see. Oh, okay, so this is mandate related. So, you know, those of y'all who are for the mandate, y'all could do the information as you wish. This is my pushback on the mandate. Again, this is another one I had. Is I don't think that there should be a mandate for anything that covers everyone. And the reason I say that is because everyone is completely different. So there has to be an accommodation for the people who are different, whatever that difference is. If you had an example, like, let's say, the first thing comes to my mind is, let's say, exercise, right? Even something that's healthy as exercise. If the government said we are going to mandate that everyone exercise, and you have to, you know, walk, jog, or run a mile every day, and anybody that does not run a mile or jog a mile or walk a mile every day will have some type of punishment, right? Now, even with something that's healthy as exercising and just walking a mile a day or jogging or running, there are people who will be in wheelchairs who can't do that. There are people who will have some type of mental disability that can't do that, or a health disability that won't allow them to do that, right? So in those cases, you'll be punishing somebody for not being able to do that. Let's say that you have people who you're mandating to walk or jog a mile every day, right? What if this person is an Olympic swimmer? So they swim for miles every day. They're in shape. They perfectly fine. They eat healthy. They have no reason to run or jog a mile every day. They don't like to run. They prefer to swim or bike ride. They would also be penalized for not following the mandate, even when the mandate is supposed to be healthy for somebody. So the reason I'm making this comparison is because even with something that is supposed to be healthy for you, which is in this case would be the vaccine, there are people who it's not going to be healthy for. It's just the numbers. They don't. If it was healthy for everybody, they would tell you this is 100% healthy and effective for everyone. They don't say that. They say 99%, which means that there are. If you take 1% of the population, let's say you take 0.0% of the population, 1% of 7 billion people is what? 700 million people? Probably. Let me see. It's 70 million. So if the vaccine was 99% effective and every single person in the world took it, but only 0.01% of people ended up in the hospital because of it, that would be 70 million people that ended up in the hospital. 70 million people, right? And some of them will probably die. Some people may say, well, if they got COVID, they may die also. Here's the difference. These 70 million people may have said, you know what? I don't want to take this. Okay? They were making a choice not to take it, but they were told they have to. So now all of them could possibly end up dead, not because of a virus that they could have decided to take a vaccine or decide, you know what? I'm going to risk it and get sick. They decided that it would be better to mandate it for all of these people, regardless of the people that it might negatively affect. That was my biggest issue with mandates. Everybody is going to be different, so everybody should not be put into the same category to take the same kind of medicine or whatever the case might be. So that was my thing that I was talking about last week in the last week's episode. My topic of the day, like I said, I'm hoping that I don't have to talk about this much more. And COVID is kind of getting old, in my opinion, in a sense of, I really think from what I'm seeing now that it's on its way out. I don't mean the actual virus itself is on its way out. I mean how people treat it is on its way out. Y'all may or may not know, but the Supreme Court ruled against the federal government mandating the vaccine for anybody that's not in the healthcare field. So, what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks is once they say this is not a federal mandate, the people or the states or the companies that were in the middle on it are going to be like, well, if it's not mandated, I don't have to force anybody to get it. I don't think that there are going to be a lot of people who go, oh, the government didn't mandate it, I'm going to push harder for the vaccine. I think anybody who was already mandating the vaccine will probably keep it in place because the federal government mandated it before. And I think the other ones who are kind of like, well, I only did it because it was a mandate, I think they will be like, you know what, let's repeal it. Those businesses, those people, those what's the other one? It's another one. Either way, I think they'll repeal it. And I also think the people who were kind of like, I don't want this and did it anyways, they won't do it. And then you already have the people who are saying, I'm not going to do it. So all of this is to say that I think we're heading in a direction where, again, like I said, this is why I find it to be comical. We're heading in a direction where they're going to just start saying things that, it's okay to have COVID. You're going to be fine. You're not going to be sick. Everybody is perfectly fine. And it's like, honestly, it's funny. I was looking at my phone right now. Mr. Beast has COVID. Everybody has got, I feel like it's so crazy how common it is now to catch COVID. I know they're going to say, well, Omarion is a lot more transmissible than all the other ones. And it's like, sure, I guess, possibly, right? I don't know. Do you really know? Like, if you're not a doctor, you're not in the lab, so you don't really know if it's more transmissible or not. You have no idea. All I know is that people were not dying at the rate they said they were dying at. And I think that we blew this whole thing out of proportion. And I think there are going to be a lot of negative repercussions for this. I think the children that were born during this time are going to be fucked up. I think the children that had to go to school virtually for 2 years are going to be fucked up. Not even because they have any type of like lack of ability to learn. I think it's like, listen, you at home, you're not really trying to learn in your crib. You in your bed, you chilling in your house. You're not probably gonna learn that much. You're not interacting with your friends in school. School's gonna be different. So they probably gonna be fucked up. Then you're gonna have all the people who were in relationships. Those probably gonna be fucked up. Who've been staying together for the last however many years. That's gonna be messed up. Like I said, anybody that was born during this period of time is probably gonna be weird. All the kids that's wearing masks gonna be fucked up. It's gonna everybody. And we're not even talking about vaccines. I don't even know if the vaccine will do anything to anybody. It may be perfectly fine and nobody will be affected by it. Unlikely, but possible. But let's just say down the line that shit start fucking up. Now you're like, damn, that whole millions of people that took it now has some type of issue. And it's like, this is, like, I don't know how they're gonna get back from this, because people can't sue. And I listened to I think it was Ben Shapiro. It was a clip between Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan talking the other day. And he was saying that the thing that surprised him the most was how easily it was for people to just go with whatever the government said. Like, he said that he thought that people would have had more pushback to what happened. And he was also saying that it comes from the superpower of humans to be adaptable. Like, we can adapt to anything. Like, I think it's crazy if you know about the human body. You can feed your body any food that you want to feed it, right? And you won't necessarily die, but your body will find a way to adapt to eating that food. You may not be healthy, but your body will then go, okay, this is what you eat. I need to produce more of this chemical. I should produce more of that chemical. I'm going to make you sleep more often so I can process this food. You know, I'm going to have some pimples here and there just to make sure that whatever the case is. But your body will adapt. If you put a person who grew up in the hood where, you know, they're selling crack, if people are getting murdered, you know, their family is not around, they will find a way to survive in that area. Same if you take somebody and put them in a area where they don't have no problems, they have all the money in the world, they'll find a way to adapt. Same thing if you take somebody and put them in a society where everyone decided that you have to be mandated to take a vaccine, the world's about to end, everybody will find a way to adapt to that. So in these cases, it seems like everybody decided to adapt to, you know, what the government said was going to happen. So I personally think that it's going to be the reverse of that. They're going to say everything is perfectly fine. And it's going to be like those movies at the end where people come out of the shadows like, oh my God, it's safe outside now. Oh my, I'm so happy that it's gone. Everybody is feeling better now. It's so happy. And it's like, bro, nothing changed other than what they told you changed. Like, that's literally the only thing that changed. So people are now saying that in different states, was it Scotland? Is this Scotland? I forgot what state. Listen, I've been seeing a lot of different stuff happening on my Twitter. I've been following, I told you, disclose.tv, I believe is one of them. I forgot the other one's handle name for Twitter. But another, I want to say it's Italy or Scotland. I don't know the exact place. But they're saying that they're now going to classify
Scotland.
About the flu one.
Oh, no.
Yes, okay. So one of these places, I think I took a screenshot of it. Facts. I'm like, what you mean by that? What you mean by results?
Wait, can you damn it, you think if we have results, we wouldn't post?
Bruh, facts. You'll be the first one to see. Yeah, I don't remember exactly which place it was, but they pretty much said that they are now classifying COVID as the flu, which is what people have been saying for mad long now. And people probably gonna say, well, it's a different variant. And it's like, did you know the difference between the variant, the Delta, the Omicron, and the Alpha? Like, did you know which one you had? If you even had it, can you tell the differences? Do you know what they do to you? Like, how do you know that that's even the truth? So,
it says Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez is the latest leader to suggest it's time to reevaluate COVID. There are growing calls in Europe, I guess in general, for coronavirus to be treated as an endemic illness.
Yeah. So it's in Spain that they're saying. So we can go over. So we can go on vacation now. Listen, we about to get money when the whole shit ended.
Right.
Listen,
we've been just honestly, I think that we're gonna have to be in some type of documentary about how it felt to be unvaccinated during COVID.
I think we should make the documentary.
Yes.
I think we should create one. Yes, because being that would be a crazy documentary. You should watch on Netflix. What it was like as an unvaxxed. Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't title it that. People don't watch that. Just being unvaccinated during COVID.
Nah, but that don't sound spicy enough.
Unvaxxer makes people hate it before they may not want to watch it because they already turned off from that type of person. Whatever they think that type.
But you already put unvaccinated in the title, anyways.
That's different than an unvaxxer.
I mean, that's what I meant. Like life of a. Okay, what did you say the title would be?
Being unvaccinated during COVID.
That's not spicy though.
Because that's what you're missing the point. If you say unvaxxer, it turns people off that don't agree with that or are opposed to that. They're not even going to click on it to watch it to see that person's point of view.
Well, actually, I disagree. I think you never know why I was unvaccinated. Because what happens?
They care to know? They don't care.
But I think they do because they will be so mad because they're gonna go, "You're the person that caused this." I want to see. It's the same reason why anybody watches a video somebody they don't like. That happens all the time. People hate people and go, "I'm gonna watch the video, see what I'm gonna hate on them and shit on." They'll comment. They'll take a clip and put it on Twitter and be like, "This person bought this documentary called The Unvaxxers and I hate them." He said.
But that's the thing. They talk about it without watching it.
But they're gonna have to get a clip from it.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about they're gonna get a clip.
One person would get a clip and that's it.
That's fine. You think I care? If it goes viral because somebody tweeted and was like, "Oh, I hate this." This person is terrible. People gonna watch it because they said that. People gonna be like, "Oh, this is a documentary about being unvaccinated. Oh, this is some bullshit. I gotta see this now."
You come from a place where you just want to antagonize people.
What you mean? How's that not antagonizing?
You just wanna antagonize people.
I mean, listen. Like I said, I would title it something spicy.
You want people to be upset.
They don't.
I don't want people to be. That's not. Listen, whatever. You can name it whatever you want.
Listen,
I'm just saying that I would name it that. However, the goal is the same, so I don't really care.
So listen. Anyways, so I think that'd be a great idea to have a documentary. But my whole thing, the reason the documentary thing for me would be like, I don't necessarily know. You know what it would have to be good? We would have to have a lot of other people in the documentary. Because I feel like just us in it is like, I don't necessarily think that we encompass
a documentary. That's why I said NA. Like you or Donovan or whatever, but I said NA documentary because of that reason.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Be our own point of view.
Yes, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I was thinking about it like, okay, how would we structure this? So I'm like, we could tell our story, which is fine, but I'm like, now who would we find to put in a documentary?
There's so many people.
But I mean, we don't want nobody has a similar story to us though. We want somebody that has it from a different perspective in the same.
Still so many people.
Like
There's
who?
Nurses, people that actually got fired from their jobs.
That's great.
That ooh,
Netflix special.
Like,
but they're not. They are not unvaccinated. They're not unvaxxers, so they can't.
Were unvaccinated for majority of the time. So it's like, how did you? Because I think that's a good point of view to have.
I guess.
Technically, you vaccinated, but you was unvaccinated up until.
Well, you still vaccinated, so you can't be my documentary. It's not for you. When we make a documentary about almost not vaccinated, then you can be in that one.
It's like, what made you change your mind?
I almost escaped the pandemic. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like, what made you change your mind? Well, I didn't change my mind. I would be unemployed if I didn't do it.
Well, facts. That's not. But I don't want to hear that story. I mean, I guess it wouldn't be in my.
I don't think people understand the weight of the mandate in that sense. I don't think people understand that that people are saying, oh well, it's a choice. You can choose not to get it. If you don't get it, well then you deserve to die. Pretty much. That's pretty much.
Yes.
And then they are also not speaking to the fact that you are trying to force people to do it. So I think that someone speaking from that perspective where it's like, yeah, well, they told me that if I didn't do this, I would lose my job, I would lose everything, even though I did not want to do it. Like,
But that's not like that. The thing with the reason for me why that story is not spicy enough is because you got like, what is your opinion? Like, what does it add?
regret it? How do you?
Of course you regretted it. You ain't want to get in the first place. You ain't gonna be happy like, yeah, I'm happy I got it. You're gonna be mad.
They might have been. What if it saved their life?
But they don't know if it did, and they will never know if it did. So, like I said, I want to hear the people. Like I said, they could be in the almost didn't get vaccinated documentary. That could be in that one, or life after mandate. You know, something like that. So escaping. Oh, what they call the one with Michael Jackson and R. Kelly? What was the name of the beginning?
Yeah, surviving.
Yes, surviving the mandate. No, that's not spicy enough.
No.
All right.
Because it's not like nobody was dying. Like, we wasn't dying. Nobody was dying because of the mandates. But it just.
We don't know that yet. We don't know.
I mean, but that has nothing to do with unvaccinated people. The people that were dying from the mandates.
But we survived the mandate.
What are you talking about?
We survived the mandate.
What are you talking about?
We didn't get. What you mean? We're the survivors.
No, that wouldn't work.
Why not?
The mandate is not hurting nobody.
We don't know that. You keep saying that.
No, because you're saying that because you're insinuating that the vaccine is hurting people, and therefore we survived the vaccine that's hurting.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we survived throughout the mandate without getting vaccinated.
Okay, but there's
So how did
impending doom or danger for not getting it?
What do you
The
mean?
worst that would happen to you is you lose your job.
Okay. Surviving the mandate means we were able to survive the mandate without getting the vaccine.
Survive the mandate without getting the vaccine.
Yes. That we all the things to go through the life of us surviving the mandate is not being able to eat, not being able to go outside, not being able to travel, not being able to go to work.
We weren't doing those things anyway.
But that's us. The other people may have different stories. What I'm trying to say. So that's what it would be in the documentary.
Okay, I guess what you're saying.
So it's like, what is it like?
We're actually having to really.
Like, damn, like I had to leave the state. I had to, because somebody might have already left, bro. I had to go to another state,
Like I said,
start a new life.
I mean, sure, maybe. Like I said, I don't think it's that bad. I think.
You think what's that bad? The vaccine?
Not the vaccine, the mandate. To paint it in that light. I feel like it would be more so like a social experiment as opposed to the mandate.
Let me ask you this. Can you say you think it's not that bad?
I think the problem is people. I don't think the problem is necessarily the mandate.
What if your mom lost her job?
Okay.
How should I take care of anything? She don't want to get vaccinated. That's the bad part of it. That's how the mandate is bad.
I mean,
because now think about a person like that who has a whole life set up for them going to work, have a job, to pay their bills, and now they like, you know what? I don't want to get vaccinated, so I'm gonna get fired. But now they get fired, they can't pay their bills, they can't take care of their kids, take care of whoever they live with, and it's like that's the struggle. That's the struggle you have to come up with when you are or come in confrontation with when you are dealing with not abiding by the mandate.
Okay, I see that, but I don't think people will sympathize for it because they feel like you put yourself in that situation.
But you want them to sympathize for you? They don't want to sympathize for you regardless.
Right.
So why are you saying that?
Oh, I mean, I'm saying that I don't know if people are going to understand that.
Understand what? It's not about... So, okay, what is the purpose of the documentary?
To show... Like I said, I think that the issue is not the mandate. Necessarily.
Okay.
I think that the issue is... I don't think the issue is vaccines necessarily. I think the issue is more of like a social thing where how everyone was so quickly to either choose a side or condemn your family member for not getting vaccinated or to I was gonna say impersonalize, but it's like maybe depersonify. I don't know what word I would use, but to no longer look at
disassociate.
Not disassociate.
Dehumanize?
Yes, to dehumanize other people. Like I feel like I think people are very either like nonchalant or relaxed or about having that kind of mindset or that type of behavior towards other people, and that's more so what I feel like the issue is with the pandemic.
But what is the who? That's okay. So who can have sympathy for that?
I think I used the wrong word.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's gonna care. People that are vaccinated are not gonna care.
I said I don't think it's the right word for that.
Right. So my whole thing is that with them, I'm trying to think of the spicy. Let me see. What would be the best? What would I want to know if I was vaccinated? Honestly, if I was vaccinated, I would watch that because I would want to know what it was like to not be vaccinated. Like, what was your life like? I would want to see that. I'd be like, what were you doing? Like, why didn't you get vaccinated? What were you doing instead? How did it affect you? Because I don't think they care. Honestly, I don't think they know, and because they don't know, they don't care. Because, like I said, imagine this. Imagine you said something like,
isn't that the same thing with sympathizing? Isn't that sympathy? Or empathizing?
In terms of what?
In terms of like not caring whether or not you care.
But I don't. What are you saying?
Because you're saying that you think people don't care because they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that I feel like them knowing it goes back to what you just said. Them knowing isn't gonna make them.
I don't want them to sympathize. That's not what I'm looking for. I want them to know. That's it. Because they could watch and be like, I don't care, but I still want them to be like, I want to see what it was like to do that. If they sympathize, that's fine. I don't care. But I'm just saying, like, I want them to go, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Or that's good for you. You should have fucking got a shot and get to work. I don't care about your damn kids. They should be kicked out the house, evicted. So, like I said, that'd be a good documentary. So if anybody heard that from Netflix, y'all can make that movie. I would love to watch it. Be very interesting to see. I'm pretty sure you might want to wait a couple of months because I'm pretty sure you're gonna get a lot of backlash for it. But y'all are cool, and I mean y'all like that kind of shit. So, I'm interested to see that. But the other thing I was gonna say was the reason I think it's over. I've been seeing a lot of different stuff happening. So this one says Scotland to end all Omicron restrictions on Monday. First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has announced. Okay, gone. He just said restrictions done. Okay, no, up higher. All right, other way. Yeah, keep going. Above that one. Yeah, right there. So there are, I think I saw a couple of states already that repealed their mandates. I see some companies repealed. I think GE repealed it. Now, here's what I think is funny, right? Here's my theory for those living in New York. The health commissioner said he's not changing shit. He said, y'all gonna stay with this mandate and it is what it is. I'm not gonna change no rules, right? So I'm like, damn, that's a real hard stance to take. Why would he do that? Like, that's okay. Maybe he really cares. Oh, not cares, but maybe he really has an incentive to keep the mandate in place. So I did a little bit of homework. His term ends in 2 months. So it wouldn't even behoove him to do that if he was incentivized in the first place to put the mandates in place, right? So let's just say, for example, that he has some kind of benefits, whether let's say it's monetary or social benefit from having the mandates. He already put it in place. Why would he turn his back on them for 2 months left? So what I think is going to happen is, I think in the 2 months, everybody that runs for office is going to be trying to talk about the best way to handle the variants or the virus is to just allow it to run its course and to not have restrictions and mandates and how unconstitutional they are. That's what's going to happen. So in 2 months from now, he's going to be out, and I guarantee the next person in New York is going to be like, bro, we done with the mandates. It is what it is. If you have it, you don't get it, whatever it is, it's gonna be gone. And we already have a new governor. We have a new mayor too. We have a whole new staff in here. We ought to have the rules gonna be changed. I'm telling you. Watch. I put money on it. And then there was one other state I think I read. In about 10 to 15 years from now, most people will try to pretend and deny they ever supported lockdowns and mandates. Remember that. What?
That's funny.
Yeah. They're going to be like, what, bro? I wasn't. We remember. Because you know what's going to happen? Here's what's going to happen. Here's how you know. In 10, 15 years, I say 5. They're going to be like, you're going to see a lot of people tweeting about how terrible the mandates are, how terrible the lockdowns are. But yet, it's a lot less people talking about it now. So, obviously, somebody in 5 years from now is going to be like, yeah, bro, that shit was terrible. Well, you should have had the energy when it was happening, bro. But anyways, so, new Virginia Governor Youngkin to lift school mask mandate. France has announced that people will need to get a booster shot after 4 months in order to keep their vaccine passport valid. So that means you're going to have to get a shot 3 times a year to keep the vaccine passport valid. And that's just for now until it goes to 3 months. There's going to be, you have to get it 4 times a year. So every 3 months, you're going to be getting vaccinated. That's crazy. Mandated just to go to the mall, just to go to the workout. It's crazy. Another tweet that I saw. Listen, I'll be saying, this is why I think and feel the way I do. In the 1940s, the U.S. government injected people with plutonium without their knowledge to measure the impact of radiation on the human body. Every day, people were lied to and used as lab rats. We sure are lucky the government would never do anything like that today. Absolutely. They would never do that today. Listen, I am tired of the COVID shit, honestly. Like, I really am. It's like, here's how I look at it, right? I look at it like this. I'm just exhausted. It's exhausting because it's so stupid. Like, to have to waste my time with something so stupid that engulfs my life like this it's ridiculous. It's so dumb. And I wish people would just stop talk. Like, I wish it would just end in terms of on a broad level. So the general consensus for people is like, yeah, it's some bullshit that people get every once in a while. And then life goes back to normal. Go to the mall, go to work out, go to play basketball, go to eat, whatever. So we will be back here next Tuesday. You can find all the behind the scenes content on our social medias. Mine is Donovan Gray, DONIVANGRAY, and my phenomenal, beautiful, amazing girlfriend, Anita Byrne. You know what it is. Hashtag Bamboo Project 2022. We going up all year. It's gonna be a movie. Okay. And with that being said, Bamboo Project out.